The thing is, you have a business, right? And you're looking for an EIN-only business credit card, but a lot of times people have no idea how to proceed, and they just start having conversations about things they don't understand. They think, well, it's impossible. I try to fill out a business credit card application, and they're asking me about my social. There's no way I can I can really bypass this requirement. So in today's conversation, I really want to break down for you and really explain to you how to really do things the proper way. Okay. So I will give you a few proven hacks about EIN-only business credit cards. So let me give you an overview here so we are on the same page. So the thing here is you need to really play your cards really right, literally. So why should you get a business credit card using only your EIN? Well, very simple. Boss, you are trying to cover your ass. You are trying to protect your assets. You are trying to preserve your personal life should something happen, right? I mean, you have a business, things happen in business. Sometimes the revenue goes up, sometimes revenue goes down. And God forbid, if you were to be sued by third parties, vendors, lenders, and whatnot, you want to divorce your business life from your personal life. Okay, so I mean, they can seize all the business assets, but they should not really take advantage of your personal assets. This is why you want to actually get a business credit card using only an EIN. This is kind of similar to the no PG thing. When it comes to loans or when it comes to credit cards, you don't want to have any personal guarantee. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. So the big question for you is, should you ever accept a personal guarantee in a business funding transaction? Well, the answer is yes or no. It really depends on your situation and the objectives you're trying to reach. Okay, normally you should not, but if you have to actually do it to get the money, yes. Okay. And how do personal guarantees really work? Well, the thing is that the bank will have a legal way to sort of come after your personal assets, your personal collateral, if you were to default on the loan or the credit card open balance. It's very as simple as that. Now, let me give you the steps that I want you to follow right now so that, you can apply for a business credit card with just an EIN. The big question is, can you even do that? The answer is yes. And this is actually, I just want to remind you of today's topic. This is actually the topic of today. So business credit card with EIN only. I'm going to share with you a few hacks, a few tips, a few tricks that you can actually start applying right now and get your business card with EIN only. The first thing I want you to do here is to try to apply with a card. You can apply for a card with a store or a small bank. So you got to ask yourself, my business, what kind of expenses can I expect, right? So let's say if you're buying office supplies, if you're buying, let's say, some small pieces of equipment, and you happen to have a small store, a local store, you can try to negotiate that with them. Some stores, even big national stores, store chains such as Target, they might actually Target, Walmart, and Costco and whatnot. They can actually agree. They can agree to issue an EIN-only business credit card. In other words, you are buying on behalf of the business, but you're not guaranteeing things personally. They're looking at just the business, and they are just making a decision based on the creditworthiness of your business. So that's number one. You can apply for a card with a small bank or a store. The second thing you can do here is to apply with a large national bank where you have built a multi-year relationship. When we talk about multi-year relationship, we usually use the term MPR, a multi-product relationship. So say you've been with Chase, you've been with Bank of America, you've been with Citi, you've been with Wells Fargo. If you have been with them for a long time at the personal level, let's say 10 years or 20 years or 15 years, whatever the length is, doesn't really matter. It's more the quality of the relationship. You can try to parlay that relationship for all intents and purposes into an EIN-only business credit card successful application. And this happens all the time. We have done it ourselves. We do it consistently for all our business clients. A lot of folks don't believe that because they have no idea it's even possible. So you can apply with a large national bank where you have built a multi-year relationship. Another way to actually get a business credit card with only your EIN is to negotiate a waiver with the issuer. See, the whole thing here is that credit card issuers in general, and this makes sense because listen, they are trying to cover their ass. They're trying to cover their ass. Listen, why would they give you a business credit card without a personal guarantee? If something were to happen, do they want to chase your ass because you stop paying the bill, or you stop answering your call and you start ghosting them, and they have to really chase your ass or send your account to collections? Nobody wants to do that, and you wouldn't want to do that if you were in their shoes as a credit card issuer. So credit card issuers do have an incentive, a strong incentive, that is to actually impose a personal guarantee. Now, there are situations where you can negotiate a waiver. So this kind of goes back to what I said earlier when I talked about applying with a large national bank. Okay, it's all about you going to the bank and you can't do this. You can't do this on an application. So when we talk about having a business credit card with only EIN, nothing happens on a typical credit card application. So you never want to apply online. You never want to apply over the phone. You got to go to a branch. You need to sit your ass down and have a conversation with a rep at a branch. This is how you win. Okay. So basically, how can you negotiate that waiver? Well, you bring things like your business plan. You bring things like your financial statements. You bring things like industry reports. They are showing a positive development in your industry. Like, let's say right now, your company is in an industry that's really booming like crazy. Like I'm talking like crazy. So if you happen to have, let's say, double digits growth rates in your industry, you can actually use that as a positive factor to actually to convince the credit card issuer. And this happens more often than you think in this country every single day. Now, the process will not be easy or quick, but it does happen and it is possible. So, third thing, you can negotiate a waiver with an issuer. The fourth thing I want you to do here is to basically get a true, no personal guarantee business credit card. Okay. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. What are we talking about here? We're speaking about business credit card with only an EIN. I'm giving you a few tricks, hacks, and tips that will help you get the card that you need real quick. So what are we really having a conversation about? So when I say true no PG business credit card, you have like a few of them, like in the industry. You have I'm talking about the Brex card of the world. I'm talking about the Sam's Club. I'm talking about the Speedway Superfleet MasterCard. I'm speaking about the Shell Fleet Plus card. Or the Shell Fleet Navigator card. I'm speaking about the Ramp of the world, the Divi of the world. I'm speaking about the Stripe of the world. So it's really important to understand that you do have like less than 10 credit cards, fewer than 10 credit cards that are true, no personal guarantee. They are true EIN-only business credit cards. But what do I really mean by true? Like, those cards were designed originally as EIN-only. All the other cards that you might find in the market, they were not designed as EIN-only. You have to negotiate to get the EIN-only approved. You need to ask for a waiver. But the cards that I just listed to you, those cards are true EIN-only. The only I would say the only drawback for those cards is that the issuer will want you to either maintain a high bank balance, like bank deposits. Like sometimes they'll ask you to have 25 grand or 50 grand. Sometimes they'll ask you to connect your accounting software to their system so they can monitor what's really happening in your company, financially speaking, in real time, right? So, for instance, Brex or Divi would want to see exactly like your cash flow, your inflow and your cash outflows. Okay, if they have access to your bank account, they can really see the movements in your bank account. So what I'm trying to say here is that they can actually gather intel in real time about your operations. But hey, listen, this is actually the sacrifice, so to speak, you have to make if you want to have a true no personal guarantee business credit card. Another thing I want to really say, another way for you to actually navigate the whole business credit card with only an EIN is actually to get a corporate card. I mean, see, this is something that a lot of folks don't really, a lot of small business owners don't really think about. See, people always think mistakenly that you need to have a big corporation, you need to have a big C corporation with shareholders and whatnot to qualify for a corporate card. No. A corporate card really just means that your business has positioned itself well enough that the credit card issuer is looking at the business as a separate entity. So they are willing, based on the company's financial heft, strategic heft, operational heft, they're willing to actually issue a business credit card to that entity based on the creditworthiness of that entity. Okay, so this is really important. So when it comes, normally when we talk about getting corporate credit card, some credit card issuers want your business to be open at least a year or two. It really depends. Sometimes they'll go for anything in between, let's say 18 months, and they will want you to maintain a certain level of revenue. And this is kind of high. There's usually 7 digits, like 1 million to 5 million. So if you're a small business, but you are actually pulling that level of cash, that level of revenue every month or every year, you could qualify for a corporate credit card, not a problem. Okay. And it's really important to understand that there are some conditions with when it comes to a corporate credit card. Rewards earnings may be lower than for small business or consumer credit cards. You may have to pay off the balance in full each month. Okay. And you may need to provide a lot of financial information about the business. And this is what I was just talking to you earlier about your financial statements, right? So the credit card issuer will ask you to provide a full set of accounting reports, including your income statements, your company's income statements, your company's balance sheet, your company's statement of cash flows, and your company's statement of owner's equity, so that the issuer can have a holistic view of your company's financial information. So, it is what it is. Let me give you a few pro tips before we as we actually go into this conversation a lot more. See, the whole thing here is that everybody talks about, I want to get a business credit card with only an EIN. That's true. And because they're trying to cover their ass, I've already established that fact. Okay. What really happens if you default on the business credit card? So you typically will not have to worry about the personal guarantee unless you fall behind on payments. Okay. So in that case, the card issuer may write off the unpaid balance as bad debts and sell it to a collection agency. And that's really where all hell breaks loose. You don't want to have that situation. Okay. So the collector in this case will attempt to get payments and could even sue for it if the debt is within your state's statute of limitations. So if a judge, God forbid, if a judge rules against you and grants a court order, the collector may garnish your wages or take money from your personal and business bank accounts. So before actually, those are really important. So I'm trying to really explain to you the step by step. So, and it's really important to understand that if you're having problems with a personal credit card or a business credit card's balance, try to seek help from a credit counselor. Okay, who can explain to you options such as negotiating a payment plan. So if reported, missed payments, debt settlements, and any other negative information related to the business credit card will damage your personal credit and business credit for that matter, because derogatory marks may remain on your report for up to 7 years from the original delinquency date. Okay, so in the meantime, qualifying for credit, passing an employer's credit check, or renting an apartment maybe more difficult. So I really want you to really think about that. So when we have a conversation about a business credit card, you need to understand that this can be a financial tool for your firm, a very powerful tool at that. Okay. So typically issuers require a personal guarantee from you as a business owner, which means providing your social security number on your application. But again, as you have seen, there are exceptions. There are ways to actually get away with the whole no the whole PG thing. If you have been listening to me so far, I just want to give you a bonus here, really sort of explain things further. Let's just go back to the origins, so to speak. What is an EIN? Let's have a conversation with that, because I mean there is some misconception around that topic. People have no idea what they're talking about. So an EIN is really a unique 9-digit number assigned by the IRS to identify your business for tax purposes. You also use your EIN when you open a business bank account, or let's say you establish a vendor line of credit, right? So let's say the net 30 or net 45 relationship, okay? And the cool thing is you can apply online for one EIN for free through the IRS's website, okay? Go to irs.gov and you just search for EIN. You see it right there. It's a lot easy. Or if you want to apply manually, you can actually apply using form SS4, and you fill out all the form, and then you just mail it to the IRS. The IRS will get back to you. I mean, usually when you file online, it takes it's really faster. It's a lot faster to get your EIN than if you were to apply manually. So those are things I want you to really think about. So according to the IRS, you need an EIN if you have employees, if your business operates as a corporation or a partnership, if you file employment, excise or alcohol, tobacco, and firearms tax returns, your business withholds taxes on income other than wages paid to non-resident aliens. You have set up a tax-deferred KIOG. I mean, sometimes people say KIOG, people say KIO, sometimes, retirement plan. And your business involves a trust, an estate, a real estate mortgage investment conduit, or REMIC, a nonprofit, or a farmers cooperative. So these are really important to really understand the contours of the regulatory contours of an EIN, okay? And so now, what are your options if you cannot get a business credit card with an EIN? Well, if you can't get a business credit card, you can try to take out a business loan that doesn't require a personal guarantee. Okay. You can also look into short-term business financing, such as invoice factoring or a merchant cash advance. So you can actually explore other ways, such as, we call those asset-based business financing. So things like equipment financing, things like even accounts receivable financing or factoring. You have merchant cash advance. I mean, those loans are based on the collateral. That's why they're called asset based, and the collateral here being the underlying assets. So when you speak about equipment financing, for example, the collateral here will be the equipment. So if something were to happen, the lender knows they can always go back and repo the piece of equipment. Okay. So you do have options. You can also try to apply for the EIN-only business line of credit. Okay, so all hope is literally not lost. If you can't qualify for a business credit card, you can certainly get other forms of financing. But just kind of recap here. Just make sure that your business plan, your business financials, the trends in your industry, and how you organize your company. Okay, I'm speaking about the legal structure that you have, the perfect separation of a personal and business expenses, and the proper application for the proper negotiation with the business credit card will give you, for all intents and purposes, a business credit card with only an EIN. But it's not going to be a short process. It won't be on a simple application form. You're gonna have to do some negotiating, some bartering, some haggling at the branch. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about business credit card with only an EIN. So I'll give you an overview. I'll give you a few steps here and there, pro tips so you have a clear idea what you're really getting yourself into. I gave you a bonus here, and I spoke to you in the recap section. Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.